Hello and welcome to the third instalment of a Bloke in a Pub Chats About. Today, strangely, we're also in the original studio. It's been converted into a pub now, obviously, but this is the original studio where the Boson Bear show was filmed almost 40 years ago. It's one of my favourite programmes when I was a child, so lots of lovely memories today. Anyway, I'm joined again by Tom, who's a client of Higgs Boson, an investor, and I'm also joined by my business partner, erstwhile colleague, Dermot O'Connor, who's our resident expert on pensions and financial planning. We're going to come to you in a second, but I'm now going to turn my back on you and talk to Tom. Tom, have you got some questions for me?
So is there any update on Brexit?
Yes, there is. Two things that I think are important. The first is that there was a worry that lots of companies would leave London if we got a leave vote, and it would push down the price of commercial property. And some of the commercial property funds that we use have closed to taking money out. Now the reason they're doing that is because they own physical property. You have to sell it to pay investors. They don't want to sell at a low price, so it's just to protect your investment. And it's all again being driven by sentiment because nothing's changed. With the exception of one thing that has happened is we now have a new Prime Minister. We have a woman Prime Minister, which I'm wholly supportive of. And as I said to you in the last one, Europe went out to the pub, had a big row, and now the women need to sort it out because that's always how rows are sorted out at the pub. Europe and its structure will unfold, and we'll see how that goes over the next few months and years.
Okay, cool. So Dermot, and why is it important to think about retirement and retirement savings?
Because there's too many old people and not enough people working to support them. There's not enough revenue coming in today to support retiring people today, so the government is borrowing more and more. So we really need to look after ourselves. So saving for retirement through pensions, but through all the other vehicles available to you, through your ISAs, through your bank accounts, national savings, etc. There's many, many ways to do it.
A good way to sum that up is no one's coming to save you. You're on your own. You're going to have to look after yourself. And the state's not going to be there to do it because it simply can't afford it.
Okay. Obviously there has been news of auto-enrolment coming for pensions. So as a employer, what are things that I need to be thinking about?
Right, okay. Well, the government's latest scheme to encourage people to save their retirement is called auto-enrolment. It's simply pensions. And every employer in the UK has got a staging date, the date then which they have to have a scheme in place, which they'll make contributions to, and their employees will also contribute towards. So it's as simple as that. It's pensions wrapped up under a new name.
And what was your advice to me so I can get the best deal for me and for my employees?
Well, it's all about retirement planning. So it's about having sufficient resources in place when you stop work. And as something that we've talked about a lot at Higgs Boson over the years is that a pension should not be the only vehicle that you use for retirement planning. And I think Matthew's got a few more words to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of what's going on in financial planning is being driven by demographics, and that's the distribution of ages and numbers of people. And so medical science has become very good at keeping people alive for a lot longer. They also, when they get old, they get expensive because they use lots of healthcare. And there aren't enough people working paying tax to pay for everyone. So the writing was always on the wall for the pension tax relief that you get. The government can't afford it. They're always going to get rid of that. And it's ironic that they've launched pensions as a vehicle to deal with this. What one should be looking at doing is having a range of investments with lots of different tax treatments to use up all your tax allowances just in case government tax any one of them. Where we'll have to go is towards something like in the United States, it's called a 401k. It's like a big super ISA. You own it, you take it from employer to employer. You can have your money if you want it, but if you spend that money, you're on your own and you won't get any help from the state. And it's funny enough, this morning there was an announcement from our former Chancellor, obviously who committed political suicide during Brexit. So another link there for you. I hope he's watching. Saying that he'd always intended to move towards the 401k. He actually said it today. As an individual, I would encourage you to watch Abridged Too Far, which is also on our YouTube channel made by these gentlemen here, which is about the concept of tax diversification. The idea that you don't put all your eggs in one basket as far as tax is concerned, so that you're not vulnerable to the political whims of our Chancellor in the future. The take-home message from this is that the state is not going to be there to support you. There are not enough people working to pay for you, so there's not enough tax revenue. You are on your own. No one is coming to save you. You're going to have to do it for yourself.
So is there any good news for your pensions?
No, there is good news. And the good news is kind of indirect, which is that, as I said earlier, medical technology has become much better at keeping people alive. So the corollary of the issue with pensions is that you can expect to live longer than at any point in human history with a better quality of life and be happier than any of your predecessors ever could.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Mm.